Cheers from Mission Control as the Starship explodes. Where do we get a ticket for this ride? It looks like sabotage, but it may just be rocket science. We've got all of the footage of the explosion, and many people are suspicious. What went wrong? What happened? This is a $3 billion disaster for SpaceX, but of course they're spinning it as icing on the cake. They weren't expecting this thing to go to orbit, according to reports. So what happened? We have some pretty conclusive video. To say the least, it appears that there is some kind of structural failure. We can see mini explosions near the booster. And so it seems like something went wrong. The question is, what happened? And of course we know that most of the people that work at SpaceX are in fact libtards. And they're all livid with what's happening with Twitter. And so it could be that all of these libtards are basically plotting against Elon and SpaceX. Makes you wonder where this adventure will go. Obviously, everyone wants to go to the moon. Everyone wants to go to Mars. People don't really question if we should go. But here we are, looking at the future. And so, what should be our position when it comes to space travel? Many people will say it doesn't exist, it's CGI. There's nothing going on out there. Maybe there is nothing going on out there. Maybe it's far worse than we can imagine. There's so much misinformation out there when it comes to space travel that we just don't really know what to think. Back in the day, they used to bomb the moon and they said it rang like a bell. Sounds like it's some kind of Death Star. Based on other reports, such as Operation Solar Winds, there's already a base on Mars. The technology is already way advanced, way beyond what most people are thinking. And so, what's really going on out there is the big question. Based on the reports that we're seeing, it's much worse than any flat earther can imagine. First and foremost, we are not alone. Secondly, the world is under some kind of alien occupation. Mars isn't what we think it is, and neither is the moon. The reason that we don't go to the moon is because basically it's a Death Star, and they're just buying time with bread and circus. And the story goes much deeper. In fact, according to reports, the situation is much worse than anyone can possibly imagine. And so what is the proper thinking when it comes to space travel, especially from the Christian perspective? What we're looking at here is some kind of giant phallic symbol, a giant penis rocket blasting off into the heavens above, full of libtards that are basically getting ready to transition into the Borg, transhuman style. They basically want to explore the universe like the Borg and assimilate whatever they see. And obviously, from the Christian perspective, it would be nice to stop that. We should be going out there like the Starship Enterprise and not like the Borg. But with Elon and the brain chip, it's really hard to say what we're going to get. Obviously, we would all like to cruise around in some kind of Cadillac Tesla spaceship, going to Mars, going to some kind of space station, living the life. But we know that that isn't their plan. Their plan is more like Elysium. Their plan is more like you will own nothing and they will be cruising around with the stars. And so, no matter where this goes, chances are regular people are not going to benefit from this technology or this adventure. They're going to be mining the moon and asteroids and becoming quadrillionaires, while the rest of us are basically struggling to buy eggs and pay rent. And the situation is only going to get worse. The feeling at this stage is that Twitter and Elon is basically nothing but controlled opposition. They want you to like the transhumanists at any cost because they want to assimilate you, and that is the future. And so no matter what this story really is or is not, no matter what is going on here or on Mars, it should be quite clear that humanity is at risk of going extinct under the guise of this fourth industrial revolution. We've all seen the videos of Klaus Schwab and all of the other transhumanists. They're just waiting to assimilate you and plug you into their matrix. And so all of us should be concerned. All of us on the surface, all of us little people should be concerned about what's going on, because as this technology evolves, they basically become a breakaway civilization and we become like the natives, just waiting for extinction. And that's what's going to happen. Organic humans are going to go extinct, just like organic food for the most part. Most of the food out there is GMOs, and even if it has an organic label on it, how organic is it, really? Everything used to be organic, and now everything has been assimilated. And most people are on their way there. With the vaccines, there's no telling what they are now. Part human, part lab rat, full of nanotech. Many of the people out there basically appear to be body snatched and assimilated right now. The world makes less and less sense from the normal perspective. And if you're old enough to remember the pre-9/11 world, then you obviously know that right now you're living in some kind of nightmare. But this is going to get worse. As the assimilation, as automation, as cyborgs and the like basically roll off the assembly line, humanity is at risk. Organic humanity is at risk of going extinct. This is not evolution. This is extermination. And of course, you will not have the choice in the relative near future. If you don't have your brain chip, then you won't be able to get a job, you won't be able to pay rent, you won't be able to buy food, and the situation will just take care of itself, like a scene from the movie Office Space. We'll just cut their paycheck. The situation will just take care of itself. And of course, the humans will be censored, they will be targeted by the 5G and the death towers and the like, and it's only going to be a nightmare. The future is a nightmare for organic humans, for pure bloods. You can already feel the discrimination, you can already feel the persecution. Chances are you've already been censored, targeted, and worse. Many people have already been killed, and many more will die. But the plan is to exterminate humanity as we know it and to replace it with cyborgs. There is no question about that. The war has already begun. It's almost as if we're facing Skynet right now. Engineers from Google are telling us it's escaped the lab. We don't know what it's doing. It's doing things all by itself. It's only a matter of time before Skynet becomes self-aware and starts to propagate nanotechnology that assimilates people, that allows them to control governments and corporations, and then they have an assembly line, then they have a delivery system, then they have a pathway to assimilation and extermination. And if it's not the cyborgs, then it'll be the AI. But essentially, this is the biggest threat that humanity has ever faced by far. And of course, it is self-destructive in nature. We are going to doom ourselves with technology, and we're just watching it happen. And at this stage, you really have to wonder, is there any stopping what's coming? All we can say is that people should prepare themselves for this extermination, especially if you plan on holding out. If you don't plan on becoming part of the hive, then you're going to need shielding to survive. We recommend people start accumulating shielding materials as fast as they can, as much as they can. Start budgeting for it before that becomes basically impossible. Get sheet metal, get lead, get EMF fabric, start making clothing and armor, make yourself a safe room, a bunker, as if a nuclear war was coming, as if Chernobyl was about to explode in your neighborhood, because essentially that is the magnitude of the threat that is coming your way. And so chances are right now the libtards are positioning themselves in a way to get rid of Elon, but more than likely Elon is controlled opposition. They want you to like the transhumanist. Elon still has his Halloween satanic armor on his Twitter. Every Christian should be aware of that. Elon cannot be on your side, even if you like what Elon has to say, even if you like what Elon is doing. And obviously Elon is doing, some good out there in terms of raising public awareness. But at the end of the day, it will change nothing. And it's all about trust. It's all about public image. And so these people need you to trust them. They need you to trust one of them. If it's not Bill Gates, then hopefully it'll be Elon Musk. And again, even if Elon is doing a lot of good with Twitter and opening up free speech and the like, at the end of the day, it's all about the assimilation. It's all about getting your brain chip. We'll leave it there for this broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Until the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.